Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Mike.
And this is the Board Game Rundown, and today we're going to do a preview of Garden Geckos from 10 Robot Games. This plays 2 to 6 players in 15 to 40 minutes. We have played, Bob and I probably played like a 15-minute two-player game with Teach. And then with Mike, maybe 20 to 30 minutes tops with Teach, teaching him. So what I'm getting at is that Garden Geckos has a low rules overhead. It's pretty straightforward. So we are playing as these geckos, and we're trying to I don't know, set collection a little. You're just like pattern building. I'm trying to think of
like icon collecting.
The right name for these mechanics. Tile laying.
Tile laying, definitely.
So on your turn, you're going to have a hand of these 3 tiles, and they're going to have different little like terrain on them, and then different kinds of bugs. And then what we're going to do is you're going to place that tile, and then you are going to connect. You're going to take one of your geckos, and you're going to connect that tile with the matching terrain. So that gecko is going to span those 2 things. And then what I'm trying to do here is either meet a requirement on one of these terrain objective cards, or meet a requirement on one of these bug cards. And so after I play this, if I've got a grasshopper touching a ladybug and a worm touching a cockroach, and as long as I've done something to make this happen on this turn, I then get to take this card and add it to my list of objectives. Another thing you can do is this tile will work. If you close in a tile like this right here, let's just arbitrarily put this guy here. Well, now what I've done is I've trapped this bug. That's going to let me take a ladybug from the supply pile and add it over here. Because at the end of the game, you're going to get 1 point for each bug icon printed on your card and for each physical one you have. So the different objective cards, the harder the objectives, the more bug icons there's going to be. And then everybody is going to have like a secret scoring objectives, so that would make these bugs worth extra points. This bug would be worth 2 points each time it appears either on a card or the physical version of it that I have. Now we also have these terrain cards. So let's use the one that we had in our game. Is it right here? So the terrain cards, these are interesting because what you're trying to do is at the end of the game, you're going to get points for the longest continuous run of this particular terrain. So, and you do not have to have your geckos on it. It just has to exist in the board. So for example, Mike had this one last game, and we found that right there was the longest one, and it's basically worth 1 point for each third of the tile that connects. So you'll see that one was worth 5 points, right? Because that's a third, that's a third, a third, a third, and a third.
If it creates a diamond.
And so, yeah. And that's the game. You're going to play until one of these, either these, the draw stack is empty, not played, just drawn. The last tile is drawn. You're going to play till one of these bug piles is empty, or until someone has 6 objectives, which is the way that we have ended the game when we've played it. At higher player counts, you might see some of these go faster.
Yeah, I can see that running out at higher player.
Yeah, like at like 6. Because you're gonna have 3 tiles in your hand. Another cool thing you can do is if you have one of these bugs, you can at the beginning of your turn go, you know what, I'm gonna discard 1 bug. It can be any bug, it doesn't have to be the green one. And then I'm gonna draw 3 new tiles, and then I'm gonna choose between these 6 that I have which 3 I want to keep, put 3 on the bottom of the draw stack, and then start my turn with my hand, whatever tiles, whatever I have, whatever I decided to keep. You can do that 1 time on your turn. So if I had 2 of these, I couldn't go, I don't like these, I'm going to go again. No. But I could the next time around do it again.
Right. I like how you don't lose your turn for that.
Right. Yeah. No, that's really cool.
Thing, like free action that you can do if you don't like your hand.
And then one other really important thing, you can claim one of the bug objectives on your turn, and you can only claim one of the terrain objectives on your turn. But you can claim one of each if you do pull off a combo that gives you both. But you can't get the 2, just 2 of the same kind. And the other thing is you can't just luck into a thing. If this card comes out and now I meet that requirement on my turn, I don't automatically get it. I need to play a tile that connects a gecko that triggers something on that card, which then will allow me to claim
Your
it.
play has to contribute to claiming that trophy.
Yep. Yep. I think that's all the rules, right, guys?
That's pretty much what you told Mike, and he lost. So good job.
Yeah, good teacher award. But yeah, that's. I mean, so really, and the rule book is great. It's laid out. I mean, it's just a few pages. It's 8 pages if you count the last page, which gives you some advanced rules. Which are kind of interesting because they give you more points. If you can fill out your card with physical versions of the bugs, they're worth 2 points each.
Ooh, okay.
So just an extra thing you can go
to try to like enclose them as opposed to just trying to knock those out.
Right, right. So I mean, there's lots of stuff you could do with this game. Lots of stuff. This is a Kickstarter preview, so we're not going to give it a rating, but we are going to go around, kind of share our thoughts, and talk about what we thought of Garden Geckos. Bobby, why don't you get us started?
I really enjoyed what I was doing here. It's a nice little like puzzle you're trying to figure out. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Cascadia, but like...
But better.
But better.
Good.
Yeah. No,
Sorry, I don't like Cascadia.
I enjoy Cascadia, but no, like because you have the different types of like it makes sense, right? Like they're in the grass, they're in the flowers, they're in the water, like different terrains where you would find the geckos and whatnot, and then you're trying to place them and you're matching. They're trying to do 2 puzzles at once. Right? You're trying to get the terrains together to try to claim a terrain card, but you're also trying to make sure you're linking the correct bugs together so you can get a bug card to try to claim 2 at once. To try to maximize your turns. And then, plus you're trying to pay attention to what icons are at the bottom, because if you have a bug objective card, you're going to get all those extra points for having the right bugs across the bottom. And I thought that was super interesting. Like, I had a good time doing it. I love those puzzles, especially those 2-tier puzzles when you're trying to do multiple things at once with the same layout. Like, I enjoy that kind of stuff. Like, my brain likes to try to wrap around to do that. And the art is cutesy, right? So, like, that's a bonus. People will, like, pick that up just because of the art on the box. And it was that actually the icons and the terrains are easy to tell apart, so I didn't have any issues really with that.
Yeah, no color issues, right?
Yeah, I mean, like there's like the grasshopper and the one other bug that are sort of similar, but one of them's got rounded antenna, the other one's got flat antenna. So, and I think one is more gray, then the other one's like more of a.
The round antenna is brown.
Brown, yeah,
and then he's green.
What? Well,
yeah,
sure.
What you said.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah,
so, like,
it's the same color as my shirt.
Well, no.
Different legs, no wings.
The guy looks much more gray.
And then these colors, right? No problem. That's all the player colors.
Yep.
So no issues.
No issues there. So yeah, and then the meeples are neat. They're cute.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah. They're pretty cool. Mike.
How cute is that box art? I mean, seriously.
Fantastic, dude.
I mean, first of all, like this guy right here. I mean, wow, that
was my face while playing this game.
That's how you sell some games right there. Just put that guy on the cover. What I really like about this, we talked about, is that this has a very low rules overhead, but there is so much to consider on your turn because, okay, you're trying to, all right, if I'm working on this one, all right, I got this blue connection here. Ooh, I got a flower connection over here. Do I have the flower connection? Ooh, maybe I've got that one in my hand, but at the same time, I'm simultaneously working on one of these and trying to connect these animals or these insects together. I was just super impressed with how much there is to consider every time you're simply just playing a tile. Like, it's never that simple. It is very easy to play, but there is a lot to consider on your turn. And I just really appreciate games that can give you a very simple, elegant rule set with very difficult decisions on your turn. And this game does that extremely well. So props for that. I just think it's very approachable and just has a very low rules overhead. But yeah, there's a lot going on every turn by connecting these paths, working on your private scoring goal. And I really appreciate those games, kind of like Splendor, where like I'm trying to satisfy, I'm trying to like buy 2 or 3, I'm working on 2 or 3 cards at the same time. I'm always working on like multiples of these at the same time, and just having to consider that each turn is way more than you would expect from this package. And I think it works very well.
Yeah, this game's kind of like a tiny little powerhouse, like everything these guys said, right? There's so many good decisions, really interesting choices, but I could also just play this with my 12-year-old and I would just limit myself, like I'm only going to take one objective card at a time, and then that way until she really like grokked it, right? And then got it. But I mean, like this game is that simple to teach. I could, this goes into the Thanksgiving bag, right? When you go around for the holidays, like this is a game where it's like, this is so easy to teach. And then you really, what you're doing though, is you're getting them into like these crunchier games without them even knowing it.
Right.
And I just thought this game was freaking fantastic. I thought it was going to be good. I thought I'd like it. The box looked fun. The concept sounded really interesting. But then we started playing it, and I'm just like, oh, this is good, and it's fast. Yeah. I mean, even I think, you know, adding Mike added 5 minutes to the game, you know, and so like I think, and that was again with a teach, and Mike, you know, I mean, and I think adding more people is still gonna, I don't think it's gonna make the game overwhelming, because at the end of the day, it's just, you just play the tile, you know, you figure it out.
I could see a little bit of AP of somebody trying to really min-max their turns.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's going to happen a little bit with these kind of games, but it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Oh, and after just one play, those decisions would come a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think, agreed. You get them to play once, and then they start to see the patterns a little bit better. And you really can start rocking with this game. And
this really has great table presence too. I mean, just all the varying art on the tiles.
Yes.
All the look of the geckos and how chunky the insect tokens are. Like this is a really nice production.
Do you know if this is like a special deluxe, or is this just how it's going to come?
As far as I know, this is just a production copy.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, if the game came out right now looking exactly like this, I would be 100% happy with it, right? Yep. Like no complaints.
Right.
Yeah, this is really good. This is really solid. I've got nothing bad to say about this game. Like, I would rate this game very highly if we were giving it ratings.
I almost feel like if we were playing like fewer people, we might play to more than 6 cards.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like a couple more turns in there.
But, well, and that's the thing is, you know, once you're familiar with the game, I mean, just play it the way you want. Yeah. You know, I mean, the rules are so straightforward. I don't even want to call them simple, because that almost sounds like insulting. It's just that they're very straightforward. They're very...
I'm curious.
The low rules overhead with the very crunchy decisions.
Yeah. I'm looking at the back of the rule book there, and I'm seeing advanced rules. Did we use those?
No.
I'm assuming we did not.
No.
So you can add a little bit more bang to this.
That was adding
That's what he was saying about putting
if you had the trapped bugs and you can cover all of a card, right? Like, so if I had three worms on I had 3 worms at the end of the game, I could put them on there, and that makes them worth 2 extra points each.
Okay.
So there's things you could do, right?
That makes you want to play more to put the...
But then you're not claiming as many objectives because you're trying to trap more bugs, right? You're working that angle. So...
changes things a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you could go for different strategies. You might want to try to prolong the game, because if your secret objective is a terrain card and you're trying to have this big continuous run, like if somebody had the stone here, geez, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 6.
So that's still pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see how that could get out.
You see the runs get going, right? Wow. You know, like the flowers aren't too bad here. They're not as good, but just lots of really cool things. Really, really cool things you can do with this game. I'm really excited about it, and this was so good. This was so much fun. If this game fills this year, it's in the running for like the new to me.
New to you this year.
Yeah, like I can't put it on the list unless it actually comes out.
April 2nd for Kickstarter date,
yeah.
so pushing the edge of whether it fulfill this year. I can see that, but yeah, this really surprised me with how much there is going on a turn.
And I love this style of game, right? Like really good, really fast, easy to teach, and really, really, really satisfying decisions. You know, so yeah. All right.
Yeah, if you're a fan of light tiling games, or you like Cascadia, I definitely get a Cascadia vibe, because you're working on 2 different objectives at the same time while laying a tile.
2-tiered puzzle.
Yeah. Well, if you're a fan of those kind of games, I just think you're going to love this.
And I would say, if you're like me and you don't like Cascadia at all, look at this game instead. I don't. I mean, but
it's a very popular game. That's why I'm saying there are definitely fans of Cascadia out there.
But I think it's a good point, because people that like that game are going to... I would say, hey, yeah, look at this. But if you're like, I really just, that game fell flat for me, I would still say, hey, look at this. I think you might find this better.
I got a little bit of a pollen vibe out of this too, not just the nature theme, but how you're trying to surround. That one uses squares, but you're trying to surround the corner of the square to get benefits out of it.
Hexagons are better.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I will say that I play a lot of games, and hexagons beat squares.
I may like this better than pollen. This is really good. This is really good.
All right. All right. Anything else we want to add before we move on? Okay. Well, if you guys found this video useful, please consider liking, subscribing, doing all those things. Give us a thumbs up, ring the bell to get notifications when we drop more awesome videos like that. And speaking of awesome videos, if you'd like to support us and help us continue making this awesome content for you, we do have a Patreon. But if that's not your bag, drop us a comment. Anyways, the interaction we really do appreciate. Also, we do have a very active Discord channel. We'd love it if you popped over, said hi, hang out with us over there. There's all kinds of chat threads for about everything you could want to talk about. And everybody's doing stuff. We set up online games, all kinds of things. And Mike and I here, we do a live stream every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we have guests, we do topics, top 10s, and it's not even all strictly board game related. We recently did like a top robots. We did top 90 or 80s characters. We got all kinds of stuff, but we also do games.
And James, responsible for this, will be on the show.
Yeah, he will be. He will be. He will already have been by the time this Kickstarter launches.
Yeah. True.
So go back and find that episode. But yeah, man, this has been awesome. They did send us a copy of this to play, just so everybody knows that. But yeah, it was awesome. We had a great time. So for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
I was Mike. I like cute geckos.
Woo! We'll see you next time.
If you can say the title's only 3 words.
He has a tattoo.
I didn't know you saw that tramp stamp.